Welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast, where we embrace authenticity, own our worth, and build unshakable confidence. I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's dive in. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode on the Pretty Confident Podcast. As you already know, I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's hop into this episode. How are you guys doing? This should be like the first episode of March. I think I have been doing very good at recording episodes ahead of time so I can get you guys the good and juicy episodes that I am thinking about as I'm thinking about it, fresh off the brain and without it being rushed. You guys know that one of my goals for 2026 is consistency. So that means recording ahead, coming up with a routine. That way I can adhere to that goal and being consistent, recording ahead, putting in the time and energy when I need to before things are due is what's going to keep me consistent. Okay, so this is my routine. I have found a perfect flow. I just got off work. If you can't tell, like I'm kind of I don't really say that what I wear to work is like corporate, but it is, just kind of like business casual. Like I don't go into the workplace trying to dress to the nines anymore. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I still feel confident in what I wear. I still hold my head up. I still think I'm pretty. I still, all of the things. I don't have to shrivel myself. Like I don't feel like I have to shrivel up when I'm around other people in the office based on how I'm dressed. And I really feel like that does allude to everything when it comes to your confidence, especially when it's around other people and in public. Because you guys know on this podcast, I do talk about confidence, obviously, but it's not even just about confidence. It's about other factors as well in life, depending on what I'm going through. And if you guys have anything you guys want me to talk on or touch on, you can drop it in the comment section. Okay, if you're new here and you didn't know that, well, now you know. And my returning listeners and my OGs know that almost in every episode, I say that you can always submit a podcast episode idea, or if you just want advice on something, definitely drop it in my DMs, in my comment section, wherever, so that I can make an episode tailored to you, but other people can get something from it as well. I am out of breath, and I don't know why. Help me. But anyway, yeah, when I talk about, confidence, I really feel like you can have all the confidence in the world when it's just you and yourself sitting in a room. But when it's time to go out in the world, what does that confidence look like when you are outside with other people? Is it confidence when you're just by yourself and you're being yourself and your true authentic self when you are just in your own small area? Or are you still being yourself and exuding the best parts of yourself outside as well? It is all of that combined, because you can feel confident when you're by yourself and you can feel not confident when you walk outside based on the environment that you're in, based on the energy, based on how you feel like I don't even know, like dress up compared to wherever you are. But I feel like if you feel good in what you're in, it doesn't matter how you're dressed. If you feel like you look good, if it makes you feel good, that is your confidence exuding from you. So go out in the world, If you are an athleisure person, like I kind of am, and you are dressed to the nines in your athleisure attire, step out there with it, okay? Don't feel like, oh, because I'm dressed to the nines in athleisure stuff and everybody else is dressed like this, that I have to feel less confident about myself, or I have to be more conscious about what I'm wearing because other people are wearing this. Not at all. But I do want you to keep in mind, you do need to take into account the environment and the group of people that you're surrounding yourself with. Now, if you're going to a business event and you were dressed in some stuff that you would go to, a brunch, and we got some problems, okay? We do have some problems. But anyway, yeah, how are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing well. I hope, these first 2 months of 2026 has gone great for you. I should be, by the time this episode goes out, I should be doing some reflecting on the last 2 months, on what I've done to work towards, the goals that I have for myself. And I do think, instead of doing at the end of every month, what did I accomplish in that month? And then what do I want to accomplish in the next month to come? I think I'm going to do just like my quarterly planning. So as I'm doing my quarterly planning and trying to make sure every quarter I'm obtaining or reaching a goal, achieving a goal, or getting closer to that goal, I think that's when I'm going to share it with you all, when I do the overall quarter reflection, and then what I'm going to look forward to in the next quarter. So that's how I'm going to do that. So at the end of March, we'll do that. So definitely be prepared. But at the end of every month, I do still try to look at what I did over the weeks over my planner, because I do still do weekly planners. I do still, schedule out my weeks and decide what I'm going to do on each day. But yeah, so I think I should be done with that by the time this episode comes out, just to see like what I've already completed and what else I need to be focusing on to complete whatever goals, or how to get to the next, step in my goal, of what I want to complete in 2026. So we'll see how that all turns out. And I hope you guys are keeping track of that. If you are doing the setup that I did last year, I did a bingo board, and at the end of every month, I just looked at at the beginning of the month, I set out what I wanted to accomplish. I picked out on the bingo board what I wanted to accomplish, and there wasn't any real planning. It was just, this is what I want to accomplish, and at the end of the month, did I accomplish it or did I not? There was no real, okay, what are you going to do to accomplish this? And there was no real, okay, what did and did not work, based on what you did in this month to accomplish this goal. And if you didn't accomplish it, why? And what can you change in the next month to come to accomplish it? So those are some things that this quarterly planning year of 2026 has that my bingo board in 2025 did not. It was more so seeing, writing down everything I wanted to accomplish, and then either crossing it off or not crossing it off at the end of every month to see if I accomplished it or not. So if you're following last year's, that's perfectly fine. If you're doing a bingo board, at the beginning of the month, like I said, I would pick out certain goals that I wanted to accomplish. At the end of the month, I just decided, okay, not decide, but I just reflected and said, did I accomplish this or did I not accomplish it? And then I would move on to the next month. Okay, what do I want to accomplish this month? Am I going to keep the same goals, or am I going to switch it up? Which, and goals change, so that's perfectly fine. You guys know, I always say goals change based on the season that you're in. I could have some goals right now because I made this quarterly planning thing at the beginning of 2026. When I become a mother in May of 2026, it could be most of my goals, or some of my goals, or maybe even none of my goals, may or may not change based on who I become in that era, in that season of my life. So it's completely up to you. Please don't think that, okay, once I set goals, these are set in stone. They can't change ever. I'm going to look down upon myself if I can't accomplish something because I'm no longer passionate about it, X, Y, and Z. Because I know last year I was very passionate about digital design and doing all of this stuff like that. I'm not passionate about that stuff no more. I could care less. Now, if my mom asks me, hey, can you make this flyer? Can you make a post or something for this? So be it. I will do it, because it doesn't take any time to find a template or to take what she sends me based on like what she wants her flyer to look like, and then me replicate it. But not to the point where I'm copying every little thing that person did, but making it something that's tailored to her and her business. So, I'm still interested in it a little bit when it comes to, serving ourselves and serving the people around me that need that experience or that, talent. But then obviously I'm still going to need the talent when I start my own business. And I definitely feel like that did take a little backseat for a little bit. Because, I just feel like, I don't know, there's been a lot of things going on, and I feel like I'm kind of been nesting, so getting ready for my baby, instead of really worrying about, okay, what is everything I need to do to start my business, which I think once I, reflect back on this first quarter, I'll really see like what I'm going to focus on in the second quarter, which obviously right dead in the middle of the second quarter, I'll be having my baby and going into, mother mode. So we'll see how everything plays out. But I don't want to say, oh no, I'm going to put a hold on everything just because I'm having a baby. Like, I really feel like I don't want to stop my life. I don't want to stop living my life. And I want to prove everybody wrong that always says, oh, when you have a baby, when you have a kid, you stop living for yourself. I get that. We are bringing a kid into this world, and that is going to be one of the most important things in my life. But I don't want to lose myself or my relationship in just having a kid. I feel like that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they have a baby, they lose who they are as a person, and then that baby grows up and they don't know who the heck they are. Now they feel like they have to live vicariously through their child. And I feel like that's where a lot of overbearing parents can, come off or be created from. And then even with, relationships, I feel like when you put your relationship first, well, when you put the baby first a million times out of your relationship, instead of still dating your partner, still figuring out who your partner is becoming in their first time as a parent as well, that's when things start to disconnect. So I'm trying to make sure, yes, I'm still putting my baby is definitely going to be forefront in my mind, but I don't want everything to take a backseat because I'm focusing on this. I want to, yes, this is a priority, but I have other priorities as well that I still need to focus on. It's not just this one thing. So that's definitely something that, I want to keep in mind. And I don't want to stop doing the goals just because I'm having a baby. I still want to have my eyes set on something because that'll give me purpose. I feel like when you make a child your purpose, it just turns completely sideways when that child begins to fend for themselves and be able to be self-sufficient. Then they go off into the world, and now your purpose is gone, and now you're like, oh wow, 18, 20, 26 years of my life is gone, and I don't know who I am or what I want or what I'm aspire to be. So that's very important to me. But yeah, you guys, so that was just, I feel like that was a lot. I don't even know, how long we've been doing this. I just feel like I've been talking. Today was a good day. All in all, I still got a job. So still woke up this morning, still breathing. So thank God for that. So I can't complain about much. But yeah, like I said, I just got home not too long ago. I'm not gonna take it. Yeah, I'm gonna take a shower like right after this, but I wanted to make sure I recorded because, like I said, I'm trying to stay on top of things, and I feel like if I take a shower and lay in that bed, you ain't gonna see your girl, okay? You ain't gonna see your girl. And I wanted to record Sunday. I didn't feel good, or no, I didn't not feel good. I was just super tired. Because with this whole back to office thing, it really takes a bigger toll on the weekends because it's like, oh my goodness, normally you have all this time at home and then you go in for this short amount of time during the week to the office, and now you're back at home and you're relaxing. But now it's like longer time in the office, shorter time at home. It was the first week, so this weekend I was like, okay, I think I recorded an episode on Saturday, and then I was like, you could be so motivated, you could be overly motivated, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third, this day, and then when the days come, like, where's that motivation, where's that like, you don't have any motivation whatsoever, you don't have any energy. So I listen to myself, and I know what my body needs, and I don't push myself further than how far I think I can go. That's one of the biggest things, is not forcing myself to go past a point where I know I'm already drained, because then I'm running off fumes and something is not going to get the best of me. So I'd rather be pouring from a full, or, a filled cup somewhat, rather than pouring from an empty cup. And what I put out on this platform, I want it to reflect who I am and what I want to exude and show everybody else. So I almost recorded in my bonnet the other day, and I was like, Sierra, no, you can wait. It does not have to be done right now. You already have a few episodes recorded in the vault, edit those, put your energy there, edit, because it's not as much energy that you have to have editing than it is to record and actually want to talk, and then, go back and look and feel your energy. So I want you guys to be getting the best of me, because you guys are either listening Tuesdays, the audio drops at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, or you're watching this anytime, but it does drop every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I want you guys to be getting the best of me, and I don't want you guys to be bored when watching me, okay? So yeah, but okay, I think that's it. I mean, I need to go ahead and jump into this video. It was good to small talk, okay? Oh, one other thing, I think I am going to, I don't even think, I know, before my baby girl gets here, I am going to be tightening up ship on my Instagram, okay? I don't know what it is, but I just feel like with having the mindset of my baby is on the way, I want limited access to her. So that means I don't want my page private, and obviously this means my private page, like my personal page, not my content, not my podcast page, like all of that will still be public, but my personal page is going to be private. You cannot get in here unless you have a wristband. But no, honestly, like I've already started cleaning up some of my followers as far as like removing followers, unfollowing people, even people that I know. Yes, I know you and I unfollowed you and I unfollowed me for you. Okay. So I don't know. I just don't want a lot of people to have access to her. You never know who's really just watching you to keep tabs on you. And I just don't want things to be going around of her that I don't want people to have. So I think the first part of that is one, obviously being mindful of what I post, because obviously nobody can have anything from like a picture of her, anything if I don't want them to. But also at the end of the day, there's people that follow me that I don't know, because at first my personal page was like, I started to combine that into my public page or my content creation page, but I was like, no, honestly, genuinely only want people that want to follow me for content to follow a content page and not get my entire like history of my personal life as well, because obviously I have pictures on there from way back when, before I was even in a relationship. So yeah, definitely tighten up ship. So there are going to be a lot of people that I unfollow and that I remove as a follower, because I don't know. I don't want to worry about, okay, who is seeing this and who follows me and who is like, no, thank you. And when I want her to be seen publicly, then I will post her on my content creation page, completely fine. But as far as my private page, I'm just going to keep it private for now and decide when I want to post her and what I post of her. Because like I said, nobody has access to the things that you hold near and dear unless you give them access to it. And she is about to be the biggest, personal thing to me that I just don't want everybody to have access to. I want people to see what I want them to see. And then I want people that I want to see, want to share her more intimate milestones with, maybe, stuff like that on my personal page. And then just, some people can see it, not everybody. All right. But anyway, I know I already asked you all, how are you doing? So I just want to make sure I'm saying thank you. Obviously, I always want to make sure I show gratitude, because you do not have to be here. You do not have to be here watching or listening. Okay. So thank you so much, returning in listeners and OGs. Thank you so much for returning and being a Pod Squad girl or no, gal or guy. And then for my newcomers, my new listeners, thank you so much for being here and giving me that opportunity to show you what this platform is all about. Normally I say that in the beginning, but it comes when it comes. And so I just wanted to make sure I showed it before the episode ended. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this really quickly because, I heard this where I saw this somewhere and I was like, I really feel like that is something that I'm battling. And so what I'm talking about is about breaking generational, I don't want to say curses, I want to say head turning. Like, yes, we know so and so did this, but let's turn our heads. Yes, so and so is doing this, or yes, so and so got this going on, and no, you may not agree with their morals and what they're doing, but you still gotta love them. This is this person to you. I feel like there are going to be times and places where certain things can and should be addressed. But I feel like at the end of the day, if there are people egging these people on, encouraging them to stay stagnant in who they are and where they are and not grow from where they are and what they're doing, then I just cannot support that anymore. I've come to realize that more and more as I've grown up, that we are not the big happy family that I used to see 100% of the time when I was a kid. Like, yes, that's amazing. Yes, that's great and cool and stuff. But when it comes down to people saying, yes, we know this is happening, but still allow them to do X, Y, and Z. If it has anything to do with me and mine, the answer is going to be no. If I know this person moves a certain way, I do not want them around me or my children. Like, I've already, me and my husband has already talked about this. There is one person and their children particularly that I do not want around my baby whatsoever. I don't want you to hold her. I don't want you to see her. I don't want you to be in my house. Like, there is a lot of stuff that is just like, I cannot condone that. And just knowing the disrespect that has gone on behind my back and just blatant disrespect that, doesn't even have to be said, it's shown. I just like, I'm not going to accept that. And it doesn't matter if you're my uncle. It doesn't matter if you're my auntie. It doesn't matter if you're my cousin. It doesn't matter who you are, because depending on what your relationship is with me, that is what's going to be based on you having the privilege of being in my daughter's life. Like I told y'all before, My OGs know it is a privilege to have somebody else's kid in your life. It is not an obligation that somebody has to allow you in their child's life. So if you have a terrible relationship with me, baby, just best believe you will not be having a relationship with my daughter. If I deem you unfit to be somebody that I leave in her, like leave her in your care without me being there, that's what it's going to be. So I just think that there is a generation, and I think I don't even know which generation, because I get all mixed up with Gen X, Gen Z, Gen this, that, and third. But I just feel like in every family there is going to be a generation where they are breaking that big happy family BS, because it's just like, yeah, y'all want to be perceived as the big happy family, but what is going on behind closed doors that you can see, but you're choosing to omit. You're choosing to, take it and minimize it. Like, oh no, it's not a big deal. Well, this, not a third. It is a big deal. It is a big deal to me because it affects me. It is a big deal to me because I am the person making decisions based off this interaction, based off this relationship or lack thereof. So you're not about to be around my baby. You're not about to get to hold or cut. You're not about to get to do all of that, but be disrespectful to her mom. No, or her dad. No. So I get to make the rules. And guess what? I am going to be the one, I think, well, not even just me. I know it's going to be my sisters and then generations to come. Like, I want to show my daughter that it is like, it's great to be a family, but every family has its flaws. And I feel like my family's flaws is omitting the just the blatant disrespect and not holding people accountable to their actions. That is what I have begun to see, and that is what I will not be showing my daughter. I will let her, like, if it comes a point in time where she gets old enough and she sees the dysfunction herself and she asks questions, or it comes a time where I just have to explain something to her, that's perfectly fine. It's going to be a lesson, but I'm not going to put her in the situation where, oh yeah, he's always disrespectful to me, but I'll let him take you. No, not at all. If you're disrespectful to her mother, how are you going to treat my daughter, when I'm not in the room, where her dad is not in the room, where anybody that I am close to and I trust them with my child is not in the room with you? I don't trust it. So, yeah. Sorry, not sorry. But that is the biggest thing. I feel like, the older generations growing up, it was always a house full of family, laughter, this and that. But growing up and looking back, you can always tell when you look back in hindsight that there may have been laughter and this and that and the third. But what were people oppressing inside to put on a facade, to act like, oh, we're a good big family because, oh, this person doesn't want drama and I'm just trying to keep the peace for this, that, and the third person? I won't be doing that, because I feel like I already get tired when I have to pretend to, be outside of who I am and put on a show for other people when it comes to tolerating other people, because it may not be my space, but in my space I control everything, but in other people's spaces I cannot control everything. So I do become, a little bit more friendly, a little bit more cordial, because this is not my atmosphere that I can control. If I can control who I'm around, I'm gonna control it, and I'm going to be my true authentic self to the core. But when it comes to respecting other people in their environment, I'm going to do so. So if that means, keeping my mouth closed for a little bit, biting my tongue to keep the peace, I'm going to do that. But I'm not going to purposefully put myself in those situations. So that's one of the biggest things. But two, I don't even know where I was going with this pregnancy brain, but I don't know. Looking back, you can always see, yeah, everybody was smiling, laughing, having fun, but there may have been some animosity there. Growing up, it's like, okay, I don't want this for my family. I don't want, people to just be around people just for the sake of this person. Like, if I know somebody's going to be there and maybe a lot of people that I don't like or don't get along with is going to be there, I'm going to exclude myself, no matter how bad it hurts the host. Like, I'm sorry, but I just can't, like, depending on the history, depending on the situation, you have to decide, is this something that I can put myself in and tolerate it for a single amount of, like, a short amount of time, based on what the situation is, what the event is, what the occasion is, or is this something that I can have separately with the host herself or himself, and I don't have to be here to show my support for X, Y, and Z. Like, I don't have to be here because it's not to a certain caliber of, you know what I'm saying? So you have to decide and you have to decipher what is the best course of action depending on the occasion and the situation and the environment. Okay. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, because I just feel like a lot of us, we just get into this whole thing, which I am in now, where it's like, okay, I learned this way and I've seen and I've known this way growing up. But when it comes down to creating my family and trying to figure out the guidance that I want to lead for my family, it's going to look different than this. But it's going to upset people over here because they're so used to this type of living as a family, this type of, whatever as a family, instead of what I'm about to conjure up with my family. But I did have a good friend tell me, don't let your current family mess up the family that you are creating, because whatever you create is what you're going to cultivate and what your child is going to remember growing up. Because a lot of times at first, your children learn by seeing. That's why when they cuss, that's why when they do this, that, and third, you didn't teach them that, but they watched you, they witnessed it, and that's how they consume the information. So I want to show my kid, you do not have to be anywhere you don't. One, you don't have to be anywhere you don't need to be or have to be within reason. Two, you do not need to put up with anybody's BS because of somebody else's relationship with them. It is solely dependent on you and how they treat you and your relationship with them. You do not have to, oh, well, that's my uncle, so I have to be okay with it. I have to do this, I have to do that. No. That's my cousin. Oh, I have to be friends with them. Oh, I have to, allow them to do this. No. You allow people to do what you want them to do. If you don't want to allow them to do something, state that boundary and stand on it. A boundary means that it is non-negotiable. If you have a preference, that means that it can be negotiated one way or the other. You don't care one way or the other. But when it comes to my child and my family that I'm creating, it's about to be boundaries set left and right. And I really do not care. I'm starting to, start to walk myself through it as time gets closer. I do not care who gets upset or not, because at the end of the day, you're going to respect my boundaries. And if you're upset about it, you can be upset about it from the comfort of your own home. Okay. That is where I am with it. So yeah, there's going to be a generation or generations to come of breaking generational oppression or family oppression, family omission, all of the things, head turning. Oh, we're not gonna talk about that. That's your uncle. Be okay with it. Just, be nice to him, but go give him a hug and just done. I don't fuck with that man. Leave me out of it. So, yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk about in today's episode. Honestly, like, I just wanted to get that off my chest, because when I heard that, I was like, that's literally why some of the stuff that I'm thinking about when it comes to my baby girl, Kalia, that's why some of the stuff is so hard, because it's like I learned this way, my family functions even right now this way, and I know that's not how I'm about to function with my daughter. I know that's not how I'm about to be when it comes to her understanding relationships and setting boundaries and setting, standards for herself. I know that's not how I'm going to be when it comes to her. But it's just like we were taught and we were shown one way, and now because we're trying to deviate from that, it's like, oh my goodness, factory setting error, like something is going wrong. Like now it's like just completely, all over the place, and it feels wrong to go against what we were shown and how we were brought up. But truly, we're doing it, and I'm doing it for the best standpoint to help my family and to make sure that we're in agreement, to help her understand her boundaries sooner rather than later, because I didn't know what boundaries were. I was, preference is this, preference is that. But no, we need to have boundaries, and we need to understand that other people, in order to be around us, need to respect those same boundaries, or they can get to moving. Because what boundaries are supposed to do is kick the people out of your life that don't want to abide by them. And I'm not saying that you have to be a warden with it, like, obviously, but whatever is important to you in that season that you're in, your boundary sticks up for you. It's a fail safe to keep you safe from other people. So if there are people that don't want to respect you, that don't want to abide by your boundaries, that don't want to, just show you the common decency of respect of who you are as a person and who you are as what you guys' relationship is, get the kick in, because it should get rid of majority of the bullshitters and keep the people around you that are going to be solid and respect your boundaries in every season that you're in, because obviously they're going to change based on your needs and your wants. So yeah, that's what I really want to teach my baby girl. And nobody, and I mean nobody, I don't care if it's me, if I'm overstepping your boundary, you better be like, mama, you overstepping my boundary right now. I'm gonna need you to take a step back. Like, obviously, I'm gonna have to teach her how to advocate for herself, even if it's, her mom or dad. And I'm gonna have to learn how to take that, hear it, process it, and sit with it and be like, okay, I understand this boundary and I applaud you, first off. And I want to respect you and give you this space in this area. Now, there are going to be some things that I'm going to override because she doesn't know everything. But to teach her how to have that thought process and understand how to set those and what is worth setting as a boundary is going to be the whole entire process. Now, some things you can't, stand on as a boundary with your mama because I'm grown. I know, like, if she's 6, 7, 8, all the way up until she's at a cognitive age where she can make decisions for herself without harming herself or others, that's when I'll start respecting her boundaries in totality. And not just because, no, I'm not going to do that because I'm your mother and you don't know any better. There's only so far you can get with that. And I'm going to make sure I use it wisely and not because I want to dominate my child whatsoever. So yeah, that's the episode today. I feel like it was a good one. I really feel like it was a good one. Maybe I'll have some energy to pod tomorrow after work. I don't know. I go in 3 days a week now. They start 5 days when I should be going on maternity leave. So hopefully they don't start sooner. But if I have energy, I'll record. If I don't, it'll be pushed off. But I feel like I'm doing so well with consciously deciding, okay, I have this energy now, let me go ahead and record before I get into this routine that kind of winds me down for this, or before I get, too far gone that I had the energy, I put it somewhere else, and I didn't do anything with the energy. I just sat down and sat on the couch and watched TV or edit or something like that when I could have been doing this. So I feel like when I have the energy, I have good episodes. And when I don't have the energy, the episodes are a little bit more slow. So yeah, I'm going to leave you all with that. I hope this episode greatly helped you put some thoughts into your brain. Because honestly, I always say you never know something affects you or influences you without hearing it. But if it's against your morals from the jump, don't even listen to the rest. That's how I think about it. Don't even listen to the rest, because you're going to be swayed in a way that maybe you still don't agree, but because you heard it this way, it kind of sounds good. No, I want you to make the full decision yourself if this is something that you want to take on, or if this is something you're like, I'm not at that level yet. Like, there's some episodes and some podcasts that I listen to, and then there's others that I'm like, okay, I don't resonate with that. I'm just going to sit this week out. That doesn't change my viewpoint and how I think about the creator, the podcaster. But for that episode, I just want to give my attention to it because it's not something that aligns with me, who I am, or my morals. So hope you all keep the same mindset. But I'm about to go ahead, take this makeup off. You guys, I did my makeup today. Sorry, I just went off camera a little bit. But I feel like I've been doing a little bit better. I try to get better every time I do my makeup. There's some things that I want to, put into my routine that I want to try. But yeah, so I'm about to take my makeup off. I'm about to tear this wig off. And then I'm about to wind down for the bed so I can go to bed on time. I always try to get enough rest. 1, because I need it and I won't get up. But 2, for my health and the baby's health. Okay. So I'm sleeping for 2. I'm eating for 2. I'm doing all these things for 2. Like, I just need a little bit more time when it comes down to doing stuff for both of us. So yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the rest of my day. Get ready for the rest of my night and then my day tomorrow, because I always try to make sure setting myself up for success the next day. Okay. I'm not just, okay, what do I need to do to get to the end of this day? When I'm getting ready for the end of the day, I'm thinking about what I need to go ahead and help myself get ready to do in the morning so I can have a flawless morning as well. It's all about routine and being intentional with your routines. Okay. So I dropped a lot of gems. I can't wait to listen to this back and watch it. But yeah, if you made it to the end, drop an orange heart in the comment section or go to my latest post on my Instagram or TikTok and drop an orange heart. And just put in there Pod Squad. I think I like that. I need to start telling you guys to like do a little 1-2 here and there so I can see who's a audio squad, audio fam, or who's visual fam. Audio, visual, pod squad, pod, audio pod. No, just put Pod Squad somewhere or Audio Fam, wherever you're listening to this or hearing this at. If you're watching, then put Visual Fam. If you're listening, put Audio Fam. But nonetheless, put an orange heart so I know which episode you are listening to and which one you are coming from. And if you are a new listener, I hope you found a home here, a new home. And I hope you come back for more and become a returning listener. But anyway, I love you guys and I will see you in the next episode. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection, it's about embracing who you truly are. So until next time, stay bold, stay authentic, and stay pretty confident. Peace out.